talk about. I'm speaking on to this evening. I just was inspired, obviously. That's the only reason I would do this, is that I'm inspired to do so from the presence that is, that always will be, that streams. This is the melanated man coming to you. The melanated man, a voice of consciousness. Yes, a voice of consciousness is the melanated man. So the compassion that's been building up in me, as well as the feminine energy that's sweeping through, has been for the past probably 20 years at least, maybe a little more, is bringing about a level of compassion that is unmatched. So the only ones that's really going to be able to receive and really connect with what I'm about to say is those that know. So I'll just leave it at that. And those that know are the ones that are being turned on, that are being resolutely centered in the flow of this special time. Now, all of it's divine. Don't get it twisted. It is all divine. However, if you're only playing the game at the lowest level of reality, which is projected, by the way, from off worlds, from somewhere else. If you're only playing the game at the lowest level, you're not going to or experience the all that your divine self is here to experience. Again, if you're going to play the game at the lowest possible level, which is what you've been indoctrinated and controlled, conditioned and programmed to do, you're not going to experience the highest level, the divine's highest frequency for your being in this time, with this energy that is now present, this feminine energy that's reclaiming those that know. Again, only those that know will understand where I'm coming from when I speak to this. So my heart has been opening up more and more. Not to say that I'm soft or anything. It's more about understanding, understanding, and overstanding the time that we're in. The time that we're in calls for your divinity and your unique divine essence to show through, to spill out. Controlled, chaotic control. Controlled chaos is what we're talking about. Only those with the highest rated levels of melanin will get this. So check this. There's a lot of quote unquote death that we're experiencing that is pervasive, that is a part of your reality, more so than ever, than I can ever remember. And it is a intention, if you will, for the lowest aspects of frequency vibratory frequencies that is allowed to attempt to harvest from the lower state, the lower chakras, processing from the outskirts of your being into the lower chakras first. So let me go ahead and speak on this directly. The death that is being strategically placed in the reality that you call yours is a failed attempt to grab your attention and keep your focus below your heart chakra. In doing that, you maintain an incarcerated mind because your emotions are fearful, fearing that which is no big deal, actually. What happens is your ego don't want to let go of some aspect of the experiences that you have been allowed to have, and you want to hold on to them. However, we're energy, frequency, and vibration, and everyone has a shelf life, and that shelf life means your transitional period. Your period may be up and you transition to the aspect of your consciousness that still exists. So now, the death from an African-centered thinking or African-centered reality, when your physical body actually releases the essence that has been contained within it, you are more useful to those who are in harmony or who are intentionally looking to harmonize and balance with their higher self. Meaning, the consciousness that comes through the higher chakras, when outside in, inside out. And so when we take on the persona of those that know not what they do, and we ignore, which is the biggest virus, I think, is ignorance, and that's because we're ignoring what we know. When we choose not to turn on, tune in, and turn it up, and I'm talking about the spiritual essence that is already, not that which you got to read about or somebody's got to tell you about, or you already have it, and it's just busting at the seams to get out, to express itself as you, through you, as you, with you, all aspects of you. And so when we don't honor the sacred vessel that we already are as divine beings, when we don't honor that calling within us to do whatever is necessary to bring about the peace and the harmony, the balance and the centeredness that this harvest season is bringing about. See, this is a harvest for divine essence. All of the seeds are starting to come online, open up, bud, sprout, whatever you want to call it, from the heart and the heart's intention. And so that's why it's this big push to get your DNA, and you got to mess with to do the DNA, because it's your DNA that's coming online. The DNA that they called 95% junk, didn't know what it did, couldn't met it. Now they want it to keep you from accessing the fullness of your divine self. So when we talk about death, we're talking about being assisted by all of the other aspects of you that radiate and generate power. That's what we're talking about. And so you should, as we've done before, rejoice. Why? Because now you can call on those that we call the ancestors that now live and reside in you, and is connecting you to those who are centered and harmonized and in balance with the essence of this wave of feminine, sacred feminine energy that is exponentializing the power of those who are sincere, genuinely anointed. You know who you are. It's not for me to say. However, everything is coded. Everything is coded. Everything. And so there are those things that are happening, and instead of it being read as it is supposedly being presented to be, it is being embraced. I mean, like, this is for me. There's never ever been a time, well, maybe it has been, but there's never ever been a time more so than now to embrace the fullness of your divine self. And when death, it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter who it is, that energy can be transformed, that energy you can transmute. You are the scientist. You can alchemically morph. You can take that energy, you can meditate on that energy and empower yourself more fully, more divinely, more exponentially with the power that you can manifest. Understand, family, this is a magnanimous time. This is a supremely extraordinary time that we are being released. All of the energies that are necessary to gain whatever momentum that has been building over the eons of time, we can now ride that wave. We can now flow in the midst of it. You know, you don't have to worry about being protected. Why? Because you are the protection. That which you are is protected, and you are the protection of that which is. And that which is protects you. There is no question about where we are, family. The worse it seems like it appears to be, the better it is for melanin dominant sun beings. We must know. No, not hope, not pray. Your level of confidence has to go through the roof now. Why? Because this is our time. The harvest is now. And it will be from now on for a while. We're in the paradigm that has shifted, and it has shifted in the favor of those who are the melanated souls who've been here. The ancestors we talk about are you. The seeds that of divinity is in you, in your heart. And the energy that is being pervasive now the energy that is unseen now, the energy that is most powerful in this time now, which is trying to be counteracted, but it ain't nothing you can do. It's like trying to stop a hurricane or typhoon, or it's nothing you can do. Nature, you can't stop it. You can try to avoid it, you can try to protect yourself from it, but when it does what it wants to do, ain't nothing you can do about that. So we are riding the wave now. This is the harvest for the seeds that have been planted, and you have it in your heart, couldn't be touched. All the conditioning and the programming and all of the, just want to breathe a little bit, man. All of the things that have been done to try to eliminate you only has served to embolden, empower you. So we must know this. We must know it. It's not I think, I hope, well, God, what is God? Something that someone gave you? Or is there an essence and you represent that essence just as you are, right where you are, who you are? Not in something outside of you, but what's inside of you. What's always been there. What's never, ever, 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 ever going to leave you. The only way you don't have contact with it or you're out of touch with it is through your psychological, emotional self. You decide that it's not. You decide, and you make the decisions for all of the tens of trillions of cells that house in you. Family, this is a magnanimous time. The death around you is every bit of a moment to rejoice, not to be downtrodden, sad, and really overcome by grief, because that keeps you on lockdown. That keeps you right in the center of the heart of the lowest aspect of yourself. You must rejoice and be happy for the releasing of the energies from the vessel. If you know them, you don't know them, it doesn't matter. Rejoice. Why? Because that's more adding to your army that is a part of the compassionate, loving, empowering, grateful, gratitude. Give thanks. Give thanks. Give thanks and have gratitude for the presence that was, and how that presence is now moving to another level of assistance and supporting that which is. That's how it works. Not for you to mourn and think you can hold on to something that you never had to begin with. All of this is fleeting. None of this is permanent. So we must know and move on what we know. This has been the Melanin Man, a voice of consciousness. Out.